Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Today, we're talking about Emmanuel Haro and his father, specifically Jake Haro, who once claimed that his baby was kidnapped, and now he is being sentenced for admittingly unaliving his baby. We're awaiting sentencing shortly. A lot to talk about on the other side of this.
Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls. Dropping cold facts, got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is November 3rd, 2025. It is currently 4:39 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Bonjour. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Tonight, we are talking about Emmanuel Haro case. And finally, after all this time, there is a court hearing. Jake Haro, the father of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro, who once claimed that his son was kidnapped in a parking lot with his mother, supposedly, like changing his diaper, getting ready to take him inside of a sporting goods store. And now he is claiming, admitting to unaliving his 7-month-old son. That we're going to get to some stuff here. A lot of people never believed them. We got about 20 minutes before the hearing starts. Bear with me one moment. I need to.
We've tried everything to address plumbing emergencies faster.
Just
We
give
all
me
remember the
one
plumbing drone debacle.
And We're going to get to the very, very, very latest on this. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, please hit that thumbs up
start
button.
with breaking news today at noon. I'm Angela Chen. In Riverside, bombshell new details in the case of Jake Haro, the father from Cabazon whose baby went missing. He is now admitted to killing his 7-month-old son. His sentencing is now set for later today. Jake Haro has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and to assault on a child under 8, admitting he beat his son Emmanuel to death. News Channel 3's Garrett Hoddle is live outside the courthouse right now with what he is learning ahead of the sentencing today.
Garrett has done an incredible job on the Emmanuel Haro case. He is a local reporter and just incredible job he has done. Yes, guys, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Would really, really appreciate that. Share the live out would mean so much to me. They give us a new setting now that it shows me how many of you guys have shared the live out, and I really, really appreciate that. I was overwhelmed actually of how many of you share the live out. Can't thank you enough. Truly, good to see you, Fly Girl. How you doing? How you doing, girl? Thank you so much. Appreciate you, my love. It's months coming in clutch. Much love to you, Fly Girl. Hopefully you and yours are well. Thank you so much for sharing that out. Someone just said that a second ago. PGH, thank you, love. Appreciate you. All right. Now, Rebecca Haro.
Hi, Angela. We're in Riverside this morning outside the Hall of Justice, where Jake Haro was originally slated to be sentenced at 8:30 this morning. That has been rescheduled towards this afternoon. I reached out to the DA's office asking for clarification as to why. I'm told this is simply just a preference of how the judge wanted to conduct today's caseload. Meanwhile, we're also learning new details about what the prosecution intends to do. In a sentencing memo, we're now learning that the prosecution is
he is sitting. He's crying here. He's crying here. Now he's got time to think about what he did to his 7-year-old son and his other children that he beat nearly to death. Remember, his daughter is in a wheelchair. She's got about 2 to 3% of her brain function. She has a trach where she breathes out of, and that has to be cleared out through all the hours. This isn't a human. Yeah, I agree. This is a pattern for Jake Haro. I think he deals with substance issues. I think he deals with, in my opinion, I think he's all about himself. He's got probably the maturity
are seeking the maximum penalty, meaning they're seeking a 6-year sentence for the 2018 assault of Jake's then infant child, 10 weeks old, who we now know is a quadriplegic, and now serving a 25-year to life sentence consecutively for the death of little Emmanuel Haro. We've also reached out to the DA's office this morning to see if Rebecca will be in court. I have been told by the DA's office that she will not be ordered in court today. However, I do want to make clear that her attorney, Jeff Moore, has been seen in the court this morning speaking with the prosecution, so we're monitoring that very closely. Meanwhile, after sentencing today, we know that there's going to be a peaceful protest outside the Riverside County Jail here in town to honor Emmanuel's life and to seek justice in terms of what we see from sentencing. Now, there is going to be a lot of pressure on the judge. If you recall, back in 2018, Jake pled directly to the court, similar to what he did in Emmanuel's death, pleading directly to the court last month. And in that original case back in 2018, when he pleaded guilty in 2023, the judge gave him a light sentence, only probation. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on the judge today to give Jake a hefty sentence. We're going to see what he decides. We'll bring you any updates right here at KSQ on News Channel 3. Be sure and stay tuned. Angela, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Yeah. I believe if that judge would have handed Jake a decent sentence back then, little Emmanuel would have probably not been born, right? Because Jake would have been in jail or in prison, and this would have never happened. It seems like California seems like I know like the system is overwhelmed. I get that, but they need to stop worrying about petty crimes, right? Non-violent crimes. But this is the thing. The non-violent crimes, right? The little tickets here and all of that makes them a lot of money. Is the same judge from the first case? I don't know who the judge is today. It was originally supposed to be this morning, but again, the judge changed that, and I'm so grateful that he did. Hey, Holly, I've been hearing of so many light sentences nationwide for horrible crimes. Yeah, it put the people in there that does violent crimes. How about that? That's what they need to be doing. Okay, here we go. Got about 12 minutes before court will start.
Yeah, the original time for sentencing was for 8:30 this morning, but per the district attorney.
Court, the father who pled guilty to second-degree murder of his 7-month-old son. Now, his sentencing was set for this morning, but there was a change in that schedule. Our Brett Rosen joins us live in studio. He has the latest details for us this morning. Brett?
That is correct, Bridget, Judge. California does have the death penalty. It hasn't been carried out in many years. I think I know Newsom has put a what's the word I'm looking for? It still has the death penalty, but it's I know under his administration they don't do the death penalty.
Olivia, the original time for sentencing was for 8:30 this morning, but per the district attorney's office, it was changed, and now it is anticipated that the sentencing will be at 2 in the afternoon. Now, it was a little over 2 weeks ago that during a felony settlement conference, Jake Haro pled guilty to second-degree murder, 1 count of child endangerment, and 1 count of filing a false police report. He is now facing 25 to life. Now, to give some background, it's been over 2 months since Rebecca Haro first reported that her son Emmanuel Haro was missing. A week later, both Rebecca and Jake Haro were arrested at their home in Cabazon, and they were charged with murder. Rebecca today still pleads not guilty, and her felony settlement conference will be on January 21st. This morning, I also received the sentencing memo from the district attorney's office. In there, it talked about Jake Haro's previous case, where there was abuse to his other daughter, Carolina Haro. She suffered multiple fractures to her ribs and skull. He pled guilty to the court in 2023 and received 180 days in county jail and had the upper term of a 6-year prison sentence.
Look at that baby. Look at that baby there. So, oh, Sassy, I hope you're okay, honey. Should have never happened. And I believe Emmanuel is very, very likely in the landfill, in that he's just, I don't know if they have tried to look for him in the landfill like they did Quentin Simon. Whenever they go to look in a landfill, you have about statistically a 7% chance. About a 7% chance. She is, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Rebecca Haro is pleading not guilty. Not guilty. Rebecca, you enabled him. You acted and made a stage of your own, saying that your child was abducted to cover for him. So I don't buy your BS. I agree. She is just as guilty as him. Just as guilty as him. If she would have said when this happened, holy shit, he snapped 911, you would have been off scot-free, right? Like if you had nothing to do with it, you would have been off scot-free. And actually taken up for your son as a baby. You got to remember, hey Brandywine, good to see you, honey. You got to remember as well. Remember how old Jake's daughter was. She was younger than Emmanuel. I think it was the daughter. Might have been the son. But was younger than Emmanuel when he did this. Just crazy. Okay. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Okay. We got 9 minutes until we ride. Let's pull this up real quick. I don't know how anybody could even look at their spouse or their boyfriend or their girlfriend after they did that to their child and ever love them, support them ever again. Okay, that's why it is. Okay, I was wondering where that sound was coming from. It's coming from here. Here we go. Credit goes to our friends at Court TV. Link is provided in the description. Make sure you sub up to Court TV. You will certainly not regret it. They are amazing over there. Link is provided in the description. There we go. That little, yes, top lip. My son used to do that little Bart Simpson thing, and it was so precious. Hey, Serenity, good to see you, my dear. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate you. I think he pled guilty because it has already worked on him once on a lighter sentence. Well, you got to remember now, this is his, there's multiple times of child abuse now. And you got to remember, he was on parole. Or, maybe not parole, but sorry guys, my brain is a little slow today. If you could see his past, I bet he suffered abuse as a child. It makes you wonder, or it does. It makes you wonder. Probation. Thank you. Probation. I can't think of anything today, guys. Limes will get your mind some days. It really will. Put him in regular probation. He will get his population. Yeah. I'm having some caffeine. Rebecca could have taken the baby and left many times. She chose to stay and watch him. You know, I tell you, I just don't get it. He could get 25 to life today, from what I understand. Minimum is 25 is the recommendation. To me, he should get life without the possibility of parole, period. He took a 7-month-old baby's life. His daughter, he should have got a life sentence for as well. She his daughter is virtually not alive either, because, so your body can be alive, right? But if your mind is not there, right? If your mind is not there, are you really alive? Same as like being in a coma for years and years and years. Well, your lungs are breathing, right? But are you actually alive? You get what I mean? And his daughter, because he, broke bones and ribs and skull fractures and hemorrhages, she only has 2-3% of her brain. Yeah, she has no real life. And to me, I think the judge could not have read, in my opinion, the judge could not have read that case about what happened. It just had to be another case, flipping through the files. You could not look at that baby, look at the condition from before and after, and say, yeah, I'll give you probation. You couldn't do it. There's no way in hell. Hey, Don, good to see you, honey. So I believe this, I believe he should get life, not only for Emmanuel Haro, but for his other children that have been victims as well. Linda says, I completely agree. It's not a quality of any life, really. She smiles, but that's a real feeling or instinctive reaction. It's just crazy. Hey, Bet, good to see you. In my opinion, these judges need to be held accountable. I don't see how any person, like, I get it. Some people are not with, the death penalty or whatever, and people, but violent crimes against the most protected, or supposed to be the most protected among our society, children, people with disabilities, right? Mental, physical disabilities. Any disabled children, animals, things like that. That's what you really have to protect first. And if you're not there to protect them and just willing to let them out, here we go, guys. Oh, your little tears. Cry, bitch. Cry for all I care. You're not crying for anybody else other than yourself. I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad already. Court TV. Okay, I guess they're just waiting. Yeah, I despise him. And it just it shows you that these women and men will stay with someone that will harm their own children. If they will harm their own children, what the hell? Do you think they're not going to harm you? Or do you think you're any more special? Because, listen, you might love your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, but nobody you should love more than your kids. Period. That's it. That's it. That's it, Big Booty. Thank you, Big Booty. We got to see this out. We got to see this through. Choppy out of the courthouse basement. Gary Polk. Judge. This is live, Jen, yes. Sentencing is 25 to life. He still pretty much looks the same. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but you know, some people, they change so... Thank you, Pink Pony, for hitting that. I guess the music is from the courthouse. I guess it's coming from the court TV. I agree, Big Booty. I think she has a court hearing the 22nd or something of this month. Got you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Chris, is that Chris an example? Yes, Ollie. Oh, that's... Well, we didn't see Chris for a long time when that was going on. It said earlier January. Okay, did it say January? We don't know where Emmanuel is. He's probably in a landfill. But I believe his soul was in heaven. He looks like a beaten down man. I think he's just evil. I think he's just selfish. You know, these type of people should never procreate. They should never. You can't handle kids, don't have any. And if you do, adopt them out as soon as you have them. People are praying for what you're taking their lives and beating them to virtually a pulp. But yeah, Zoe, I agree. He's totally feeling sorry for himself.
Order. Court is now in session.
All right, we're in order.
And before we go forward with the sentencing in the Jake Haro matter, again, announcing to the public there are no use of cell phones, no recording except for the pool camera. There will be no comments about the case while the court is in session, no outbursts, and please follow the instructions given by our RSO deputies. With that, calling the matters of Jake Haro. Appearances, please.
Thank you. I'll wait for Mr. Haro. He is sitting right next to me at council table. And thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Allison Lowe, also on behalf of Jake
Good afternoon, Your Honor. William Robinson for the people.
Good afternoon. Brandon Smith for the people.
Thank you. And good afternoon, Mr. Haro. And this is the time and place set for sentencing. Are both sides ready to go forward at this time?
Yes.
And the court has read and considered the sentencing memorandums provided by Ms. Garthwaite and Ms. Lowe, as well as Mr. Smith and Mr. Robinson, as well as the probation report. At this time, does either side want to be heard further? Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, any victim impact statements for the court to consider?
There will be no victim impact statements.
Okay. And Ms. Garthwaite, Ms. Lowe?
Your Honor, I just wanted to very briefly reiterate the defense objection to imposing court fees and fines. Mr. Haro is indigent. He's a public defender client. I believe that the court is going to sentence him to a lengthy sentence. And prior to his arrest, he was unable to work and was receiving disability. So we would object to the court imposing any court fees and fines. If the court is going to assess a restitution fine, it is based, or the defense requests that based on
When it's live like this, it's really hard to hear sometimes
Okay. And Mr. Smith?
because they don't have
Do
the
you want to be heard?
mic into the camera. Let me check. Just 1 second.
Yes, I'd say that while I intend to submit in large part on the sentencing memorandum I filed with the court, I do want to reiterate that while I understand the court has some discretion in this matter regarding the sentence and the fines and fees, I want to emphasize the fact that this defendant deserves no leniency in any regards as to sentence or as to fines and fees. The court is well aware of how this case began with the defendant standing in front of law enforcement and the public and creating this public panic about a child being kidnapped, and the resources that were expended in order to investigate those lives of the defendant need to be addressed in this sentence as well. So I would ask that the court recognize that in deciding how much to assess the defendant in fines and fees, as well as in exercising its discretion regarding the appropriate sentence in this case.
God, come
Thank you,
on.
Mr. Smith.
Fix the
Anything
mics.
further before the court begins its sentence?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm sorry, we've had, I guess, a change of opinion. So the Emmanuel Haro's grandmother has now asked to address the court about the sentence.
Okay. And are you ready at this time?
Ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. And Mr. Smith, if we can have an introduction, please.
Yes, so this is Emmanuel Haro's maternal grandmother. Her first name is Mary, M-A-R-Y. And I'll have her spell her last name.
B-U-S-H-A-U-S-E-N.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you for being here today. And ma'am, I want to make sure that I hear everything that you have to say, that our court reporter can take down everything that you have to say, and that we have an accurate record. We've cleared our entire afternoon, so you don't feel the need to be rushed. So whenever you're ready, if you could speak loudly and clearly and slowly for us. But whenever you're ready.
I want Jake to look at me. I want him to face me.
And ma'am, if you can address the court.
I would like for him to face me, to look at me.
Okay.
I'm checking other feeds just to make sure, but they're all the same. They're all really low.
And ma'am, if you could speak up as loud as you can, please.
I wanted Jake to face me, to look at me, because I told him that I would be here for his sentencing before he was arrested. I talked to him about, as a friend, to tell me everything. Because he didn't give me the opportunity to meet my grandson. He destroyed my whole family. He branded his children for life. He damaged her children, all his children for life. And in doing that, he destroyed my family, my children, everybody in my family. All my children are destroyed by this. He changed my daughter over. We don't know who she is. He never gave me a chance to see my grandchildren. He kept my daughter away. I don't know what he did or how he changed my daughter's life. But she was never that same person after she went to live with him. The only reason Rebecca came back, because in March I had a stroke. And my son got hold of her and told her I was in ICU. That's how I met Mackenzie, my 2-year-old granddaughter. I didn't even know she existed. Because I was not aware
Rebecca's
that she was
mother.
pregnant with Mackenzie. I was not aware that she was pregnant with Emmanuel. I never met Emmanuel. You know, he deprived everybody. And it has hurt my children because the media has torn all of my children apart, okay? Because they say, Grandma knows, Grandma isn't on it, Grandma doesn't know nothing. If I had known what was going on, I would have take my daughter out of there forcefully, or I would have called the police. My sons would have come and
She's a
got her.
grown-ass adult.
Never did we ever knew anything. If I had known when I called social service when Rebecca moved in, I called social service to let them know that I didn't like him. That because my granddaughter Irene was afraid. She didn't want to be there. She called me and she says, Grandma, I don't want to be there. Okay, so I called social service. I asked social service to
Yeah, why is
give me a
she?
report of what had happened.
She's defending Rebecca, not
Oh,
talking
no,
about
she's
him.
fine. The house is beautiful. They have food in the fridge. That's it. Have social service come and told me what he had done to promise his other children. Nothing of this would be here. We wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. My grandchildren, Emmanuel wouldn't be gone. Mackenzie wouldn't have been born. Because he had already done a lot of horrible things to his other children. He branded those children for life. And in the same way, branded all my children too. Because I can't go nowhere without they asking me. Every time I go to the store or somebody recognizes me, they attack me, you know? On social media, everywhere. And that is not my doing. Or my children. This has been horrible for us. I was glad the day that got arrested because I fear for my daughter's life. I fear for everybody. And, you know, he had a second chance. My daughter didn't have a chance with him. Or his children. His children didn't have a second chance. And I think the judge that let him go should be here sitting with him. And so is social service. Because they could have told me, oh no, protocol doesn't allow us to tell you anything. Well, how are we supposed to protect our children if we don't know? The court knows what's going on. I didn't know.
Honey, she's stressed. This woman is just stressed. I get it, but it's not about Jake or the baby here. You're not talking about them.
And here he sits, you know, like nothing. Somebody will give him another chance. And I don't want that. Because he didn't give his children a chance. He didn't give my daughter a chance to be happy to take care of her children, okay? My 20-year-old granddaughter, my 18-year-old granddaughter are a mess because of him. Mackenzie, it's totally changed, a little baby, a 2-year-old girl that has nothing, okay? I'm very, very stressed out, very angry at the justice system for letting this guy, giving him a chance. Who gave my grandchildren a chance, a second chance? Did CPS check? Why didn't they tell me? Oh, look, this is what that guy does. He takes it out on the children, on the baby.
I forgot about that.
He can't do it to a grown person. He's not man enough to do it to a man, okay? He destroys so many lives. His mom,
You got some monsters in
brother,
your family.
everybody, okay? Nobody wants to be here. Nobody wanted to come and look at it. But I had to speak for my grandson and my grandchildren, and for my children too, because they're going through every hell in this world, okay?
Thank you, Mom.
I didn't mourn my grandson that he passed away. We buried him on the 5th of August, and they were saying that, oh, we probably bury Emmanuel in my grandson's, when we bury my grandson, okay? I lost my grandson on the 5th. We buried my grandson on the 5th of August. Then he calls me on the 14th of August and says that Emmanuel is kidnapped. And then my sister passes on the 17th of August. We didn't have a chance to mourn any of my sister, my grandson, my other grandson, none. Because everybody was angry at everybody because how could this happen? Why? I wish you could look at me and tell me why. He was never in my house. He knew I didn't like him. He knew I called social service, and that's why he kept my daughter away. He changed her so she couldn't have no contact with me or his brothers, okay? Had I had not had a stroke, I would have never met Mackenzie or, probably heard it on the news about Emmanuel, okay? So don't blame my children. The media has blamed my children, everybody. The TikTokers, everybody. Grandma Mary knows. I don't know nothing, okay? And I stand here with you, asking you to give him the maximum. Because I don't want him to give him another chance. He didn't give nobody a chance. He had many chances. He had a chance. The judge gave him a second chance. The probation gave him another chance. The CPS, oh well, no, he's fine. He's got food in the fridge and the house is clean. That doesn't cut it, okay? And that's not fair to the children to let somebody out like that. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm just very, very upset and very stressed out.
And ma'am, no need to apologize. This proceeding here is for you to make your impact statement, to talk about how the crime has affected you and your family. I do want to lead with, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for all the hurt that you and your family have gone through.
A lot of hurt.
And I want to thank you for being here today.
I'm here because I'm the only one that wanted to be here, because my children don't trust themselves to come in and talk because they're so upset, so angry at this system, what they did. How could they give him a second chance when you see the pictures of the little girl? How? That's beyond me. You know, you get two drunk driving tickets and you go to jail or you pay a goddamn fine. And he, a slap on the hand, go and do community work. Okay? How does that happen, Your Honor? I want to know how did that happen.
Anything else, ma'am?
No. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, any other impact statements on behalf of the people?
No, thank you.
Ms. Garthwaite, Ms. Lowe, no impact statements on behalf of the defense.
Thank you, Connie.
And submitting on your motion.
Yes.
Submitting on your motion.
Yes.
So the court is now going to pronounce judgment at this time. Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Smith, are you okay if I sentence on all three together? All three cases?
Here we go.
Yes.
Buckle up.
This time, this court, having taken the defendant's plea, having read and considered the probation report, and having seen, heard, and considered the evidence and arguments of counsel at the sentencing hearing, as well as taking judicial notice of its own records, hereby pronounces the sentence as described in this order. The court imposes an aggregate sentence of 180 days and 6 years, 8 months, plus 25 years to life and fines as specified. As I will explain shortly, the sentence of 180 days and 6 years and 8 months will be determinate. The 25 years to life is indeterminate and will be described at this time. Probation is denied. Because Mr. Haro was on probation for a felony offense at the time he committed the serious and violent offenses of murder and assault on a child under 8 causing death, he is ineligible for probation pursuant to Penal Code Section 1203. Accordingly, probation is denied. In regards to the terms of imprisonment, this case involves the imposition of determinate terms and indeterminate terms. The court will first address the indeterminate terms. I did read the briefing submitted by Ms. Lowe and Ms. Garthwaite, as well as by Mr. Smith and Mr. Robinson. For count 1, in case FERI 2504-808-1, murder in the second degree, the court imposes the only term provided by law of 15 years to life. The court notes that the amended complaint filed by the people lists the punishment for count 1 as 25 to life, which would suggest that the charge is first-degree murder, but we did have a discussion at the last hearing regarding those sentence or that charge, and that is in the second degree. So I want to make sure that that's clear, Mr. Smith and Ms. Lowe.
Yes, Your Honor.
Accordingly, the court orders the designation of the 25 to life stricken from the amended complaint. For count 3, in case FERI 2504-808-1, assault on a child under 8 causing death, the court imposes the only term provided by law of 25 years to life. The court finds that counts 1 and 3, in case ending in 808-1, are based on the same act. An act or omission that is punishable in different ways by different provisions of law may be punished under either of such provisions, but in no case shall the act or omission be punished under more than one provision. Accordingly, the court stays the punishment for count 1, the murder charge, pursuant to section 654. The court declines to stay the punishment for count 3 instead of count 1, pursuant to section 654. Mr. Haro, through his attorney, urges the court to stay the higher punishment because he acknowledged wrongdoing and pled guilty at an early stage of the criminal process, which is a mitigating factor under the rules of court. And the court does not find this to be a compelling reason to select the 15-year to life term in lieu of the 25-year to life term. While Mr. Haro did plead guilty at an early stage in the proceedings, this does not outweigh the significant and considerable aggravating factors that he has admitted to. It cannot be ignored that Mr. Haro was on probation for severely abusing one child when he decided to assault and kill another child. Further, the court notes that Mr. Haro was out on bail in 2 cases, including one for abusing his daughter when he killed baby Emmanuel. And the fact that Mr. Haro pled guilty at an early stage, while not insignificant, cannot overcome the horrific nature of the circumstances here. Given the admissions Mr. Haro himself has made with respect to the aggravating factors, accordingly, I will impose the indeterminate term of 25 years to life. Mr. Haro has also been convicted of 3 felony charges with determinate sentences. The court selects the child abuse charge, 273A from case BAF 2101265-2 to be the principal offense. The court orders executed the previously imposed term of 6 years, which is the upper term. As will be explained, the court orders the determinate punishments to run consecutively to the punishment imposed in felony case ending in 808-1. In case BAF 2400717, Mr. Haro has pled guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm pursuant to Penal Code Section 29800 and ammunition under Penal Code Section 3305. These offenses are based on his possession of a loaded firearm, which is a single act. Accordingly, the court stays punishment for count 2, the possession of ammunition charge, pursuant to Section 654. For the firearm possession charge in count 1, I will impose a subordinate term of 8 months, which is 1/3 of the midterm, to run consecutively to the principal term. When determining whether to impose consecutive or concurrent sentences, the rules of court provide several factors for the court to consider. The factors related to the crime include whether or not, 1, the crimes and their objectives were predominantly independent of each other. 2, the crimes involved separate acts or threats of violence. Or 3, the crimes were committed at different times or separate places, rather than being committed so closely in time and place as to indicate a single period of terrible behavior. The court may also consider any aggravating or mitigating circumstances in deciding whether to impose concurrent or consecutive sentences, except that the court may not impose a consecutive sentence based on 1, a fact used to impose the upper term, or 2, a fact used to otherwise enhance the defendant's sentence, and 3, a fact that is an element of the crime. The consecutive punishments are appropriate here because the crimes and their objectives were independent of each other, involved separate acts, and were committed at different times, indeed over the course of many years. Accordingly, the court imposes all felony punishments to run consecutively to each other. Mr. Haro has also pled guilty to a misdemeanor offense of filing a false police report in count 2 in felony case ending in 808. For this misdemeanor offense, the court imposes a term of 180 days to be served in any penal institution. Having imposed the terms as explained, the court hereby imposes an aggregate term of 180 days and 6 years, 8 months, plus 25 years to life in state prison. I do want to touch on my discretion in case there was any question. Looking back on this in the future, were the voters or the legislature to amend any statutes, or were there to be any decisional law in the future that would grant this court any additional discretion in sentencing and which might benefit Mr. Haro, this court would decline to exercise any such additional discretion to lower or mitigate Mr. Haro's sentence. The court has weighed and balanced all the aggravating and mitigating factors in this case and considered all circumstances such that the court believes the current sentence is just and appropriate. Mr. Haro's conduct and culpability in the offense against his own children lead the court to conclude that Mr. Haro's sentence today is fully justified without future downward modification, even should the legislature provide such discretion. In regards to the fines, The court will impose a restitution fine of $10,000. The court finds the maximum fine is appropriate given the number of felonies the defendant was convicted of and the number of years he is being ordered to serve. The court imposes the parole revocation restitution fine in the amount of $10,000 as well. This fine is stayed unless and until parole is revoked. I will impose the court security fees as well as the penalties. The court additionally imposes the state penalty of $10 for every $10 or part of $10 upon every fine imposed. The state penalty assessment of 20% of the base fine, the court operations assessment of $40 for each conviction, and the court facilities assessment of $30 for each conviction. Ms. Lowe, I will take note of your request under Duenas. And at this time, those fines and fees will be imposed, but stay the execution pursuant to Duenas. In regards to restitution, the court orders victim restitution to be paid in any amount that may be determined in the future. Mr. Haro is also ordered to pay interest at a rate of 10% per annum, accruing
He's never getting out.
October 12th of 2018 in case BAF ending in 265, as of July 27th, 2024 in BAF ending in 717, and as of August 14th, 2025 in felony case ending in 808-1. Mr. Haro is hereby advised the restitution order shall be enforceable as if they were civil judgments. Mr. Haro, I'm going to advise you of the following at this time. You are advised of your right to appeal. The notice of appeal must be filed within 60 days after the rendition of the judgment or the making of the order being appealed. You are also advised that if you are indigent, you are entitled to appointment of counsel upon request. Sir, I'm also advising you of your requirement to provide buccal swab samples, right thumbprints, and a full palm print impression of each hand and any blood specimens or other biological samples. Sir, also advising you that as a result of these convictions, you are prohibited from owning, purchasing, receiving, possessing, or having under your custody or control any firearms, ammunition, or body armor. You are also ordered to relinquish any firearms. Sir, I'm advising you, and I went over this at your plea, that if you are not a citizen of the United States, these convictions will have the consequence of deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, and denial of naturalization pursuant to federal law. You're also advised that at the expiration of the term of imprisonment here imposed, you may be released on parole unless the Board of Prison Terms waives parole for good cause. If parole is granted, the period of parole shall be for 3 years. Now, sir, going over your credits, and Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, I believe we went over these this morning, but just want to make sure that I have the correct credits. Sir, in BAF case ending in 017, you have credits of 72 plus 72 for a total of 144 days. Mr. Smith, Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, do you agree?
Yes.
In case ending in 265, your banning case, you have credits for 167 days actual plus 166 days 4019 for a total of 333.
Yes.
And lastly, sir, in the case, your newest case ending in 808, your Riverside case, you have credits of 74 days actual plus 0 days good time credit for a total of 74 days.
Yes.
So to reiterate the final disposition, Mr. Haro, you are hereby sentenced to serve 180 days and 6 years, 8 months to terminal. You are ordered to serve 25 years to life in the state prison for the child abuse perpetrated against CH, for unlawfully possessing a firearm and ammunition after having been convicted of such a heinous crime, and for the senseless assault and murder of baby Emmanuel. While no sentence can possibly vindicate the loss of innocence and life at the hands of Mr. Haro, the man who was supposed to protect these precious and defenseless children against evil and harm. The sentence here is the most the court can do to ensure that as much justice is done as possible. To that end, the court imposes the aforementioned terms of imprisonment, fines, and penalties and assessments, and I will be filing a written order of today's sentence.
He gave
Anything
no
else at
apology.
this time before I sentence him or transport it forthwith? Ms. Lowe or Ms. Garthwaite?
No, thank you, Your Honor. I have a point of clarification, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just wanted to inquire, it's my understanding that the court did impose the $10,000 restitution fine that stayed that person with convenience?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson?
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, Mr. Haro, I am going to order that you are transported forthwith by the Department of Corrections for housing in the state prison.
Bye, bitch.
And Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, before you leave, there was an issue that we had kicked over to today's date in regards to the violation
Go to
of
Gen
probation
Pop.
and the subpoenaed documents. Mr. Robinson, Mr. Smith, Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, how would you like to proceed with those documents?
It's my request that that be put over to the January 21st FSC date. I did tell defense counsel for Mr. Haro that I would notify them. I'd like to address who has standing to object to those on that particular day.
Didn't show any emotions whatsoever. He just stared pretty much forward at all times.
Conduct an in-camera hearing, and that's with or without an objection. But I already did object to the release.
What gets me is that there was Jake didn't give a statement.
You made the record. It was my understanding that there might be a request that those documents were not needed. So we'll continue the matter to January.
I hope he drops this
January
up every
21st.
day.
I'll note your
Oh,
objection.
Bubba. Oh,
In
Bubba's
between
coming
now and
tonight.
then, I'll review the documents for materiality. Mr. Smith, if you can let me know if you plan to continue to use those documents. If you're not going to use the documents, then I will not review them. And
No,
keep
it's
them,
25 to life.
downstairs, but if they
So
are going
it's
to be
that's how
released, I
that
will
works.
review them for materiality.
Based on my limited understanding of what's in those documents, I do believe it's possible. I would like to use them, so I asked the court to review them.
Okay, so I'll review them by the next court date, and then Ms. Lowe and Mr. Smith will have further conversations. And
So because it was 20, I know people get that confused. 25 to life, it means so they added on the 6 years and something, which basically means he can't get past that. He's not going to get out. He's just never going to get out. Yeah, that's what they call an anchor. And he's just never ever going to get out. What's very, I saw some of you guys in chat saying, well, is he going to get to talk? He was offered to be able to speak, to say sorry, to ask for mercy, to give an apology, and there were no last words to the court at all, at all. Now the prosecutors, they said, called the outcome a small measure of justice for a baby who never had a chance. There was, there were people emotional in the courts from the source that I'm getting right now. As the court adjourned, the judge said, quote, this court cannot restore what was taken, but it can ensure that those choices never again put another child in his harm's way. Now, this is the thing though, right? The courts failed just absolutely failed. When in 2018, Jake Haro was convicted of felony child abuse, right? His daughter, from another relationship, she was found with bruises, broken ribs, all of that. Blunt force trauma. Doctors told investigators, quote, "This child should not have survived," end quote. Haro was charged, but by the time the case had gone through the courts, uh, he had obviously convinced this judge that he was changed, and the courts was very lenient, very, very lenient on him. Um, I'm trying to find what that judge said. It was something. They'd just given him probation. And how does that happen? I mean, she was his daughter was hospitalized with injuries consistent of shaking a baby with blunt force trauma. It should have been prison time immediately, right? Not rehabilitation behind bars, more or less. The judge in 2023 said, quote, "This is an opportunity to reform," told Jake Haro that in court. They praised his progress in counseling and said that Jake was a low risk offender. That he was a low risk offender. This child will never be the same. And now there's a child dead, most likely in a landfill because of him. Right? And so in 2025, we have a 7-month-old dead baby, family that are destroyed on both sides. And the DA was right. He said, quote, "If he had been incarcerated, Emmanuel would still be alive." And I absolutely hope Emmanuel's law passes. I spoke on this before anybody. I made that statement that if you are ever convicted of abusing a child, or any sort of abuse, you need to be on a registry, just as a registered S offender. We protect our children from these violent predators that may SA our children, right? These people can't be around schools, that kind of thing. Why are we not protecting these children from physical violence as well? And after I said that, it caught on, and now there's people talking about doing a bill with it. And in California, and I know we're working towards it in Tennessee as well, and other states. It needs to be a national law as far as I'm concerned. No, Donna, not just 25 years. He got life. He got life. It's 25 to life plus 6 years and something. So he's in there for life. It doesn't sound like it as much, but he's in there for life. So that's just how the statute is. He's in there for life. So there's that. I don't know if it was on each charge. I think so, because it's an anchor. Yeah, it is, from what I understand, technically on each charge, but it's what they call an anchor, and it's even if there's like 325 to life, it doesn't add any more, if that makes sense. It's still just 25 to life. Right. He's never going to see daylight again. He's never going to see daylight again. I bet Rebecca gets a light sentence, if not probation. Oh, I don't think so. Mm-mm. I don't think so. Always skeptical. I really don't think so. I think she's going to get it too. She might get a lighter sentence because I don't think she has much of a criminal history. Now, again, I believe if it was just Rebecca taking care of Emmanuel would not be dead. God, he was, what was Jake born in 93? I want to say. Well, I think she is just as bad as him because, like I said, she did this, staging, this elaborate, lie, and the cameras were all out there, and she was faking, that her son was kidnapped when she knew exactly where he was and what happened. Defended Jake. What kind of mother does that when she knows her baby is probably allegedly thrown in a dumpster and in a landfill? Right? So he's in, hopefully, general population tonight. I hope Bubba is on top of you tonight, Jake. I really do. I hope the biggest, baddest Bubba is on top of you tonight, wearing you out. That's my hope for you. And the church said amen. Okay. So that's all for that, guys. I want to thank Court TV and thank all of you. I will be back here shortly in just a little bit. We have a lot to talk about this evening, and they prefer broom handles. You'd be surprised. But that's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, guys, much love to you. Today is a good day for justice for little Emmanuel Haro. And, you can't bring them back. And we'll probably never, unfortunately, have little Emmanuel's remains. But Emmanuel suffered greatly for 7 months. And I really do believe that he is at peace with God. And that's the only comfort I can take from this. And knowing that Jake Haro will never abuse another child again, and that hopefully hopefully Rebecca will get her day in court pretty soon as well. Abuse no longer. That's right. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be back here in about 30 minutes. We got a lot to cover coming up. God bless you. See you guys on the next one.